Good morning, traders. Manny Cabrera here, co-founder of NBC Trading Academy, with today's pre-market forecast for Monday, July the 20th. Let's quickly jump to our news items for this week. Very light week, nothing on for the docket for today or Tuesday. We begin again on Wednesday with crude inventories, unemployment claims, obviously, and CB leading index indicators on Thursday, and we close with flash manufacturing PMI. So it's very light news items this week, so nothing to be worried about in reference to news items today during our trading session. Let's quickly jump to our analysis with our daily chart. It's been a week since I've been away from the markets. I've been a little under the weather. Glad to be back. Sideways markets. Remember, we spoke about two key things. First, we had this banner here. Market breaks clearly through the banner. Former support resistance area become support, and the crossover here, the 80-200 crossover. Remember, we talked about this way back when here in March. This was sort of like the death cross to the bull market. Once this happened, here you see first it was followed by the 80-20, then the 50-200, and then we had it here again, the 80-20 crossover to the other side, and the 50-200 to the other side. Just kept the market up. Technically, market sideways. We've been this way for the last 3 or 4 days. It's acting like a summer. This is an interesting statement I'm about to make. Market is behaving like a midsummer market, but with volume, which is very odd. We're averaging about 1.4 million contracts per session. We're looking for minimally 1.1. We have an average true range over 14, which is good. So the market does have range, but it's moving very, 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 very slowly, and is moving very, very deliberately. And of course, it's difficult to trade markets if you have a very low, low patience thresholds when it comes to these markets. You really got to watch it. You're going to have a little bit of running up. You're going to have a little bit of run down. Market may not do anything for the first 30 minutes. It just, this kind of market is just the basic summer market, except we're in a pandemic and it has volume, but it seems to be behaving as a summer market. So with that being said, what does it look like today and potentially for the rest of the week? Well, here's your move. Market is moving sideways. You can see it here clearly. Market does not have a direction. Here's was a top that we had established weeks ago. This was way back when market obviously finds that top, bounces off the top, bounces off the top. It's just basically consolidating. It's not difficult to see what this market is doing right now. But in spite of that, it doesn't make it easy to trade, for the simple reason that, again, with the slow volume and the slow movement, it seems to test the patience. It seems to take people off their course when the market is not moving the way that we're expecting it to move. Now, it doesn't mean that we're not expecting the market to go in a certain direction and doesn't do it. What we're saying is that in spite of that, it requires a lot more discipline and a lot more patience, something that I basically personally don't have in these kinds of markets. Let's look a little bit closer at our analysis chart. Our analysis chart is closer to our trade chart. Excuse me, potential trades for the day. Finds ourselves between the intraday high, intraday low Friday, which is a normal thing we've had recently. Market bounces off late in the afternoon, retest the intraday low, attempts to get away from it. It cannot continue in the pre-market, breaks below it, can't hold it there, comes back, uses this as support, launches itself above it, and basically we're in no man's land right now. So what's the idea today? The idea is anything above this, we're expecting runs to the upside, particularly to these areas up here. Anything below here, we're just expecting the market to continue to just slog along, right along this trend line here, ultimately potentially trying to get to its destination here. It's pretty much everything's going to be happening here between these two areas here today. Just be careful today. If you see something early, jump on it. And this is not one of those markets you're going to sit and hold, because it'll sit there for you all day long. You find a good position, you find a good place to enter where you're expecting buyers or sellers to really move the market. Those are the best, but be extremely selective. Don't fall in love with either side. Take care. Have a great session.